The most corrupt president in the history of the United States, convicted felon Donald Trump, is not only in trouble with the MAGA base over the way his administration has handled the Epstein files, i.e., the cover up, but people are also unhappy with his immigration policy. So let's see the latest numbers on Trump's approval rating. Trump's net approval rating on immigration. This is important, you guys, because he ran on the issue of immigration, mass deportation. That is why he killed the border bill, because it would have been a bipartisan piece of legislation that would have stopped the flow of immigrants into the United States legally and fairly. It would have increased funding to ICE and their judges, but no. Trump has to go into Home Depot and 7-Eleven and take people while they're working off farms and rip people apart from their families. So his net approval rating, according to a Fox poll, is -7. Ipsos -8. Marist -9. QPAC -16, and Gallup -27. These are stunning numbers because most of the people that went all in for Trump did it because they thought he would solve the immigration problem. Why they thought that when he got on stage and talked about eating the dogs and eating the cats, I will never understand, but they did. But these numbers show, and I have read some reports that Americans feel more positively about immigration than they have in decades. And I believe, I'm hopeful and optimistic to believe, it is because people are seeing the inhumane acts by Kristi Noem and ICE and Donald Trump and Stephen Miller, and they're saying, no, thank you. I believe in the Constitution and due process. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. But we also have a campaign promise from Donald Trump that it would be, I will solve the war in Ukraine on the first day. But according to Fox News, Trump has been played by Putin.
Yeah, I think, look, it's clear from what the president himself has said, although he wouldn't put it this way, that he got played by Putin and it dragged on for months. And he was being jollied along under the impression that Putin had obviously given him that Putin wanted to end the war.
Okay, guys, here it is. Here it is in black and white on Fox News. Putin knows Trump is weak. Putin knows that Trump, all he has to do is say, oh, we're friends, or oh, you're athletic, or you have big hands, and Trump will cave. So what does he do? He strings him along and acts like they're buddies, and then he fucks him every time because Donald Trump is incompetent. The only thing that outweighs his incompetency is his corruption. But it turns out Fox News isn't the only person that knows Putin is trolling Trump and that he will never get Putin to do what he wants because he's weak and he sucks. And Trump tells us himself, it's Melania.
We had a deal numerous times. I'd get home, I'd say, First Lady, I had the most wonderful talk with Vladimir. I think we're finished. And then I'll turn on the television where she'll say to me one time, wow, that's strange because they just bombed a nursing home.
That's super funny to bomb a nursing home in Ukraine. But even Melania knows that Putin doesn't give a shit what Trump says because Trump is a complete failure on the world stage. I mean, he's a complete failure in the United States, don't get me wrong. But everybody on the outside internationally sees how weak he is, how susceptible to superficial flattery he is, and nobody is going to bend over backwards to do what Trump wants because he thinks he's a strong man, but he's a weak man. And Putin has played the long game on this. He knows Trump will never follow through on anything because Trump is so worried about Trump, and Trump is transactional. All Trump cares about is Trump and making money off the presidency of the United States. And there's nothing that tells me how despicable Trump is more than how he talks about Gaza. And let's recall that Israel is bombing Gaza at aid centers, hospitals, People in Gaza are starving, and when they go to receive aid, they're terrorized. But Trump doesn't give a shit about that because he's posting pictures of Gaza with the gold statue of himself and pictures of him and Netanyahu with their bathing suits on the beach. But here's what really gets me is that he can't even acknowledge the suffering in Gaza because he can't see it past a real estate deal.
The Strip, the Gaza Strip, I call it the Gaza Strip, one of the worst real estate deals ever made. They gave up the oceanfront property, one of the worst deals ever made. But
okay, and I will tell you this. Donald Trump is very qualified to say what the worst real estate deals are because the Trump organization that he thinks is a big high roller in real estate has filed for bankruptcy 6 times. He absolutely positively is the biggest failure in everything he does. Bankruptcy after bankruptcy. We have tax fraud. We have fraud, to the tune of $500 million in a New York court that was evaluating the Trump organization. So Trump knows about real estate deal because he makes them all the time. But what I think about this is people live there. People are dying there, and he has no empathy because he cannot see past a real estate deal because he's a nutball, and the only thing he's competent at is grifting and bankrupting companies. And hopefully America will not be his 7th bankruptcy. But please today listen and support our sponsors. Today, Babbel is our sponsor. And if you want to learn a foreign language, Babbel is the place to go. Staying motivated to learn a new language has never been easier thanks to real-time feedback, progress trackers, and handy visualizations. In only 10 to 15 minutes a day, Babbel's mobile app or website can help you learn a foreign language. They have engaging and interactive dialogue to practice conversation skills right away and speech recognition to make sure you're getting the pronunciation just right. So get started talking with Babbel. I want to learn another language, so I'm teaming up with Babbel to gift you 55% off subscriptions, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/IHIP. Get up to 55% off at babbel.com/IHIP. That's BABBEL.com/IHIP. Babbel.com/IHIP. Rules and restrictions may apply. So I want to kind of end on what I consider to be a positive note, and that is that over this past weekend, Trump went to the FIFA World Cup finals and he was introduced. The stadium broke out in boos, and I want you to hear that. I mean, just relentless boos. It made me so happy when I saw this. But something that has really caught the attention of social media, and of course it caught my attention, is that Trump went out to present the trophy to the winning team, Chelsea, and they tried to get him off the stage, not once, not twice, but 3 times. So here you see the president of FIFA. He's saying, Trump, let's move along. He's trying to hand him. Oh, here he does again. Please come along. Trump's looking at him, ignores him. Then he goes in for a 3rd time, trying to get Trump off the stage, and Trump won't leave because he thinks that all those people cheering for Chelsea winning the FIFA Cup are really cheering at him, despite the fact that just a few hours earlier, the entire stadium was booing him. And then this is something that I thought for Trump, even for Trump, it was beyond the pale. And that is this report from The Independent where it says, Trump kept FIFA World Cup trophy for himself, leaving champions Chelsea to lift a replica. What kind of an egomaniacal narcissist takes the real trophy home for the FIFA World Cup and keeps it for himself, forcing FIFA to give the team that actually won the trophy a replica? I mean, that's who this man is. It's me, 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 me all the time. I mean, that to me, even for Trump, that, talks about how he wins every golf tournament he ever plays in, how he has his doctor put it in his, medical history that, oh, he wins all his golf tournaments, so that must mean he's healthy. He kept the soccer World Cup, FIFA trophy. I mean, you can't make this shit up, people. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel, and we'll be back soon with more news.